in today's session, Chris, we're talking about Moritz Escher. I'm just going to write that down for you there. So we've got E, S, C, H, E, R. So today we're talking about, there you go, pencil. E, that's it. S, go for it, that's it. C, go for it, that one. H, E, and R. Yeah. Now he was born, oh, thank you. He was born in 1898 and died in 1972. So it's just wondering, how old was he when he died? 74. Ooh. Thank you. So 74. So a lot of Escher's inspiration, he was a Dutch artist, and a lot of his inspiration came from Rome. He loved the massive details of the huge buildings in Rome, and he loved the winding roads in the countryside. He also loved the architecture of the small hillside towns. So his inspiration came from Rome, M-O-R-O-M and E. So his inspiration came from...
So remember it's fast, yeah.
R, go for it, O, M, up to E. So he actually belonged to the period which is called modern art. I'm just going to write that down. M-O-D-E-R-N A-R-T, modern art. Modern art was around the periods between about 1890 to 1970. So I'm going to write that for you as well. 1890 to 1970. So again, what period did Escher belong to? Okay. M-O, go for it, up, 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 up. D, go for it, over, over. E, down. R, go for it, up, 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 go for it, go for it. N, and modern, go for it, go for it. A, down, down, down. R, over this way, this way, this way. Go for it, go for it. And T, modern art. The modern art, sorry Chris, just taking that out of your hand. Now, modern art is associated with where traditions of the past are thrown out, and it's all about experimentation. So using different types of materials, different types of things that inspire them. From his inspiration in Rome, Escher created lots of different effects. So he'd usually have conflicting vantage points. For example, you could be looking up or you're looking down at the same time, and he'd make them more dramatic by using light. Just write that one down for you. We've got L-I-G-H-T, and using a contrast of black and white. So what was one of the things that he used to make it more dramatic? It was, there you go Chris, L, go for it, over, I, over, up, 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 G, H, and down, 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 go for it, down, 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 and T. You'd use light. So, one of the pictures that this shows where he's looking up and looking down at different things is this one here, called Relativity, which he produced in 1953. The reason I like this one is it's quite maze-like, lots of different, you know, parts that you're looking at.
Stop there for a sec. Just as a side note, if Christopher was looking up to this point and actually wasn't looking, I'd either bring it to his vision. So if he's looking at the side, I'd bring it round.
Okay.
And I'd even might get his fingers at one point and say, here we've got the stairs going up here, but then the stairs are going up, down here, and that, so it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
And by kind of engaging his like tactile and his kinesthetic channels, you kind of you're just engaging in more. You're engaging in more.
Yeah. Okay.
So try that part again. That was
Okay.
it's good though. You did really good.
So one of his things was Escher, which is this one just here. Sorry, it's called relativity, which is that one just there. So as you can see, I'm just going to put it here for you. If I take your finger, there's lots of different areas in here. So you can go down the stairs there, or there's a man going up the stairs, a man coming down, a man going up. There's lots of different areas where you're looking at different things. And I really like it because I like that you've got the simpleness of the black and white, which makes it seem simple, yet because of the maze and all the architectural structure, it becomes a little bit more complex. So I was just wondering whether you would agree with that. So we've got A for agree or D for disagree. We'll go for it. A. Brilliant. A there. Another one of them is the Lego version. So I'll just show you that one underneath there. Now I like this one because I'm a fan of Lego. I think it looks pretty cool, and you know, as a child, everyone created, well, most people created Lego structures, and they can be quite fiddly, quite time consuming, so I appreciate how much work that they would have had to do to create that piece of work. Another thing is, this one was produced in 1953, this one was produced in 2003, and many people, when studying something, they look back to a previous time or previous period and create something new using a different medium. So here they've used Lego as a new medium. So I was just wondering whether the Lego, using something different from a past thing, whether you'd find that quite interesting. So we've got Y for yes, or N for no. Y. Brilliant. Now, the way that relativity, this one here just at the top, the way that it's been produced is using lithograph. Just write that there. I've got L-I-T-H-O-G-R-A-P and H. Now the word lithograph is from the Greek word meaning linthos, which means stone, and the Greek word grapheme, which means to write. So how was relativity produced? It was produced using, go for it over, the L, go for it, up, I, T, up, that's it, H, go for it, over, O, up to G, G, R, A, go for it, P and H. Now the method of lithography is using the principle that oil and water don't mix. I'll just put that there, that oil, O-I-L, and water, W-A-T-E and R, don't mix. The first stage is where image would be drawn on stone in oil. So they'd use a waxy pencil or something that's doesn't absorb water onto the smooth surface, which would then be treated, and then parts that weren't treated would be etched out. So then when water was put over the top, I'm sorry Chris, I'm a little bit confused with my notes here as well. It's a bit confusing, but see, it's basically that the water and oil don't mix. So you've etched it with the oil, you know, you've drawn it with the oil. Then when you've put water over the top of it,
is it a bit like? Are you talking about like with a crayon? If you do something and then you put like a colour over it and then.
Yeah, and then it's like printed on top of that. Then you can get paper put on top.
Yeah.
Go over the top, and then you've got your print.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's basically lithography. So the basic principle of it is that oil and what don't mix. It's oil and W, A, go for it this way, this way, this way, T, up, 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 go for it, E, go down, 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 R, water. Oil and water don't mix. So, one of his favourite themes is also called metamorphosis. Just write that down for you there. M-E-T-A-M-O-R-P-H-O-S-O. Messing up today loads.
Oh, you do fine. You do absolutely fine. Take a breather.
So his favourite theme is metamorphosis. Just write that there for you. Basically meaning where one shape or an object can be turned into something different. So Escher's favourite theme was, go for it, go for it, go for it. E, go for it, down, down, down. T, all the way up, into the corner. That's it, go for it, go for it. A, M, O, down, 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 go across, across, across one. R, go for it, all the way over. P, up, 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 go for it, H, O, S, up, I, S. So his favourite thing was metamorphosis, which I've got a picture of it here. So again, as you can see, which way does it stand? That way. So we've got it all the way along here. It was created in 1939. Now this piece was actually made out of wood. It's a woodcut piece. So I'm just going to write that there, woodcut. W-O-O-D-C-U-T. The size of this is about 20 centimetres by about 400 centimetres. So it would roughly be about, grab your finger, it would be about 20 centimetres would be roughly about that. Then by about the size of your room roughly, the length of it from the window to the wall. So it's quite a big piece of work. And again, the process of it, how it would be made, would be very similar to lithography, where it'd be carved out and printed over the top. So metamorphosis was produced using W, O, O, go for it all the way up, 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 D, C, U, and all the way over, up one, T, using woodcut. And one of the reasons why I like this picture, it's quite a small picture because of the size of it. You can't really get it on an A4 piece of paper. But as you can see, if you start at one end, and you start in here, and you're moving along, and you can see the sort of aboriginal designs, which are then moving into more of a structure, and then you can see the insects moving into birds, moving into fish, more structure, and then buildings, and then a bit more of just a design. Now, I like it because you can sort of see where evolution going throughout it, starting with Aboriginal, moving through, you can maybe see evolution through the animals, becoming more structured into what could be explained as our society today. So I was just wondering whether you'd agree or disagree with that, whether you can see that in that picture. So I've got that there, so I've got A for agree or D for disagree. Go for it, A for agree or D for disagree. Agree. Okay. We've got A. Now, a technique that's used throughout this picture as well, if you can see all the different patterns in it, they're quite tight together. Now this type of technique is called tessellation. I'll write that there. I've got T, E, S, 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 E, L, L, A, T, I, O, technique used throughout this, this means where the shapes are closely fitted together. So it's like a repeated pattern all the way through. So here you can see the squares, here you can see the pentagons all tightly fitted together with no gaps. So the technique that's used throughout this is called, go for it, T, E, S, S, go for it, E, go for E, E, go for it, across, 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 L, and again, L, L, A, T, go for it, I, O, and N, tessellation. Tessellation began its popularity during the 1950s. And this is actually made in 1939, and it took him quite a while to actually do this piece. So him doing tessellation, he was one of the figureheads doing it. He's very widely respected during in graphic design today, and these actual tessellation parts can actually be seen in quite a lot of tile designs today as well. So one thing that we were going to do today, we were going to make our own tessellation design. So we've got our triangle here. So just get your hand, Chris, thank you. And we're going to draw around our triangle. We'll come back this way. And then the process of it is the shape moves, so then the shape can move into the other part there. We go down and across. So we've got our pattern, and it can move again, and we could go down and up. So that's forming, and then obviously then we could flip over the shape again and do another page if we had more space. So that's my RPM session for you today, Chris.
Well done. Really good. It's really interesting. I think what's so good about you is that you always look really interested in this, and when you share your own opinions, it's really just like like now what I'm seeing here, it really adds interest. It really does. And when you're kind of saying how like you're into Lego, and you kind of appreciate the time that it must have taken to do this, that got me thinking like, wow, yeah, like it got me thinking like in a way that I don't think, and if you know what I mean. So for Christopher, when you're sharing your opinions and sharing your ideas, that's actually getting Christopher to think, oh yeah, I never thought about that before. Like, that must have taken a long time. Yeah. So it's really good, and I just then try and get his opinion a bit more by. So you asked really good questions like agree and disagree. I'd even ask like, out of these two, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer relativity? You can point to R, or D for Daniel, and they're quite far apart. We've got D and an R, so reasonably he could have shown you that. Just as a way to kind of get a few more of his opinions. No, I really liked it. I thought at points maybe you could have reduced or like broken down the information a bit more. So, I mean, all of the information, I mean, luckily like, you're really interesting, so I was paying attention. But just because as well you're in a stage of practice where you need to be getting as much practice on the boards as possible, I'd maybe like milk a few more opportunities. So where you were talking about, can I just
don't know if you better read it.
No. There was a part where you said like a load of like key points, and you gave me like 5 key points, and I was a bit like, whoa. Yeah, well,
could have gone about the.
Yeah, so maybe like.
So it was 400 by roughly.
No, that was a really good bit. I really liked how you did that. Relating it to life is brilliant. Always try and do that. So let's just take this part for example. So one of his favourite themes was, and I'd write, as I said it, I wouldn't say metamorphosis, I'm going to write that down. I'd say one of his favourite themes was metamorphosis. So then you kind of spelling it and writing it all in one, so you're not having to think about so many things. And this is when one shape or object would be turned into something completely different. D-I-F-F-E-R-E-N-T. They're the key points. Metamorphosis, when it's different. Then you can even ask questions like, rather than just, what is it? So was it the same or was it different? Which one? So then it's kind of, you're adding a bit more variety rather than so it was. So sometimes you want to ask, so it was, and leave it like that. But then adding variety sometimes just to kind of make you think a bit more, oh, what was it? And then you can go for different. And then wood. So how did the wood come out again?
I was actually going to do that bit. Made from, and then the length. Oh, well, that was one of the points I was going to do as well.
Oh, right, there you go, No, you just forget in the moment, don't worry. You're really good.
Woodcut, similar to lithography.
Oh, yes.
Or the way it was, so it's carved in wood and then printed.
Oh, yeah, so it's kind of, like printed on top. And did he like doing this on the woodcut?
Yeah.
So one of the ways he liked to show this was through WOODCUT, woodcut. And maybe give a bit more information. So how did you like to show it? Or what did you like to do it on? W-O. And I think it will just help it flow a bit more if you write it as you say it, because otherwise you end up in a, oh no, I haven't written it down, or let's write it down.
And you've wasted that.
It's just so you say a lot more than you need to say in a way. But I mean, it's not, they're all kind of like small things, so it's nothing to kind of be like, I'm awful.
No, they make sense.
Show the picture. I'm trying to think, maybe as well, I really liked how at the end you did that test. I thought that was a really, really good idea. And I'm just thinking, maybe, you know how you can ask questions on folded bits like this?
Yeah.
Just so that we're adding a bit more variety as well. Because you can get very in an arcane session, like it can get a bit, so what are we talking about? You know, talking about woodcut. What are we doing? Woodcut. It can get a bit, that's why it's good to throw some variety in with, is it different or the same, or adding options sometimes, don't add options. It's also good to have some choices like this sometimes. I'm thinking mainly for the tessellation, maybe we could said, so what's tessellating shapes here? Is this a tessellation? Or, is this a tessellation? Okay, you'd have had to think about what shape in advance, but as you can see. But it just might have been a bit more of a, like, he would have had to engage with that and think, oh, okay, they're tessellating shapes there. I mean, you could have made it a bit easy for yourself, like like even squares, they tessellate.
Yeah, and a circle doesn't.
Yeah. Even things like, do you think it'd be possible to have tessellation happen with just one shape? Because you need more than one shape to be able to tessellate, don't you? So, yes or no? Yeah. So you're kind of branching it off a bit. A good way as well to help it kind of become like a more meaningful session sometimes is to kind of take these keywords like, let's have a look for one. So Aboriginal. Even things like, what do you relate with Aboriginal? Would you more relate, well, what country would you relate with Aboriginal? Would you relate more to like, France, or more to, like, Africa? And actually, I'll probably ask, I know they're quite close, so Africa or Spain, And then you can ask that on here. So you kind of you choose a keyword, and then you kind of just going off a bit and giving him the chance to show him what he knows. Yeah. Because I think a lot of the times, like, remember when you were in school and sometimes the teacher's going on and on and on, and then you think, like, I know a bit about this. Yeah. And you're like, and obviously he's already got this issue where he can't share what he knows, so giving him as many opportunities to do that is kind of very, like, empowering.
I was thinking about that with the Aboriginal, and I think I didn't sort of go there, or because I wasn't sure whether, the length of the session. Yeah. Like, okay, am I asking too much now? And,
yeah, and to be fair, it was a decent time. How long? Is it about half an hour or 20 minutes? I think it's about 20-ish, which is a good length. So, yeah, at the start then, so I always think at the start of your session you're going for the more teach, stay, and then as you go on, aim to kind of get more you know, more opinions and things. Because it'll really help you as well when you're asking, like, oh, is it the same or is it different? So there, S and D, and you'll really see his skill. So if he's hovering around here, you're thinking, right, he's got an issue here. Is it his elbow? You know, lift your elbow, yeah, you got it. When you give options on the letter, it kind of helps you. It will help you move on to more open communication, because he's got options rather than this is the answer, do the answer.
Right, the answer. Yeah.
I think that'll be a really good progression. But I thought it was a really good session. Planned it really well. It's really interesting. You made it relevant. You know, I found out about you, which I liked. And you really did make it interesting, especially with art. So things to work on. Just remember to write it down as you say it.
As I say, yeah. I'll write this down.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll write it in here because it's all together now.
So I'll write it down here and then we'll remember too. So write keywords, as you say. And the way to get into that is just when you practice by yourself and just force yourself into the habit. It's awful, but you just sit there and repeat it until it just happens. And then you just won't even think about it next time.
Yeah.
What else? What else are you gonna work on for next time?
I suppose more of his, instead of it, the word, opinion, or like the same. I don't know what you sort of call
choices.
Yeah, choices.
Yeah.
Or just picking more of the keywords.
Oh yeah.
To be a choice.
And then so building off a keyword.
Yeah.
So remember, the choices is mainly to help with kind of number one, it adds in variety, which is, you know, it's always a bit nicer. And number two, it's going to help you actually see his motor level, so you can kind of, you know, it will really help you when you get onto the open communication. But yeah, try and plan it before those, so they're not like right next to each other, because otherwise it's going to be like even now probably. Oh, to be fair though, sometimes I'm like, do you want to do A this or B that? And if you're not accurate, you'll have to suffer with the consequences. Building up keywords, opinions. Yeah, and then don't be afraid to. I think a lot of people, when the trial moves on to this, because obviously you start off on this and then you do all the options on this, etc. And then they just never ever go back. And actually, it's not supposed to be a process of, oh, tick, I've done that, I'm never doing that again, I'm moving on. You know, I think you use it, especially at the moment where, you know, he can't openly communicate his opinion, so you can do like this, or, you know, either you could just ask so many questions, couldn't you? You know, do you like that it doesn't make sense, or would you prefer it to be more realistic? You know, what do you more prefer? You know, do you more prefer things to be more surreal or realistic? Which one? And then sometimes if he points to surreal, because S and R are very close there, so it'd be appropriate more to ask on this. Yeah, just for practice, because I'm learning. Let's just spell surreal then. S-U-R-R. So yeah, the opinions would be lovely. Choices. Anything else? Just a really minor point as well before I ever forget. We do verbal prompts are really, really, really good. The only thing I would just add in now to just kind of round it off nicely would just be a few. Just watch out for his joints. Because sometimes I thought, right, I'm going to pretend, or I'm going to act as if my elbows can't move, you know, or I can't feel my elbow, and I wanted to literally say elbow. And sometimes I notice his wrist gets a bit stiff and you literally move your wrist, and then when it's fine it flows again.
Right,
so just watch out sometimes for his arm, and you just see sometimes his elbow's not moving, and you think, wait, your elbow, move your elbow, and then it's fine again. It's like you just need it, he needs it to initiate the movement.
Okay.
It's like, oh, there it is. Cool, right. Keyword. Let's do a bit of input now, because I found this really hard to get my head around at first. but we're going to get our head around it now. So let's just go through. Right, keywords are... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's back that way. No, you were right.
I've
got so much in here that it's just... Okay, from the beginning.
So, first keyword is probably... Building in Rome. Maybe even Rome. Rome's a nice keyword. So what question could you maybe ask related to Rome?
Where's Rome?
Yeah.
In Italy, or is it in France?
Yeah, or is Rome like a capital, or is it a...
Yeah. I'll write these in now as well. Like
what's the other word for capital?
City? Oh no, it's capital.
Do you know what I mean? A capital or not? Okay, maybe that's not a good one.
Yeah.
So yes, it's important to think through these because otherwise you just end up doing that capital or not.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Is it, what continent is it on? Is it in Europe or this, or what language do they speak? Do you have an idea about what food they eat over there? Like anything really. It can just be like a short question off it where you just give him an opportunity to show you what he knows. Okay, choose another keyword. Modern. Sorry, modern. Modern. What do you relate to modern? Would you relate... Now this is... It's a tricky one because it depends who you're working with as well. Like if I just started to work with a new child, for example, I might say modern. What would you relate with modern? Would you relate like a mobile phone, or would you relate a fireplace? Because they're in the early stages, but because Christopher's come on a bit more now, we need to be a bit more careful about where we're pitching the questions. Yeah. Or even in your eyes, what is more modern? Would you say it's hard, isn't it? Hang on. TV or maybe modern's not a good one. This is why it's really important to think it through. It's a bit more. You have got a harder job because Christopher's already done it. It would be a lot easier if Christopher just started just saying modern.
But I'll pop that in there though, because then it's a
just to get you thinking.
What is modern to you, or not obviously one asks that question, but the choice.
Or even it could be. You could. Obviously, that one's more modern. Or even what kind of art do you prefer, modern or old? There you go, and you got an opinion there.
Yeah.
The danger of the list is that you start throwing like in loads and loads and loads. So you probably might get the balance off, and I get the balance off all the bloody time. But you just kind of it's all about reflection at the end of the day, isn't it? And working out what was good.
Oh, another one as well that I was going to do was the years. How long did the period run for?
Yeah, why not?
So, 80 years, so then 80.
Yeah, he loves a bit of maths thrown all of that. Yes, so when you said that to me, I was like, +2, had something to do. No, he's so good. It really makes you realise when you sit here how much he's doing and how hard he's focusing. So this is good now because you'll be able to go away and do this. You can use this again. Oh yeah, and another point was just breaking up the information maybe a bit more, so that you're milking practice opportunities. Yeah. So rather than giving like a big paragraph, and you kind of tend to start off with a key point, then you kind of say a massive paragraph, and then ask about the first thing again. And then a few times I was kind of like, oh, look at the key points, what was it about? And it's not because I forgot, but you just kind of taken me somewhere else, if you know what I mean. And then you kind of pull me back, and I'm like, oh yeah. So try and just break up like a massive paragraph maybe into like two chunks a bit more, so it's a bit more manageable for you and him, also you get more practice in. Inspiration. I really like doing keyword things. Relativity. Maze. And even like things like, because you talked about the colours and you talked about how, which you really liked, how this was, on one hand it's simple because it's black and white, but on the other hand it's very complicated. And that gives you opportunity then, do you Do you think this image is good in black and white, or do you think it would look better in colour? And that might be maybe one on here that you could do, like black and white or colour. Do you think the contrast is effective here of, you know, the simplicity of the colours yet the complexity of the image?
Yeah.
Or, you know, do you think it would be more effective if there was really busy colours and really...
Yeah.
So when you give him an opinion, I think you did this a lot of the time actually, but maybe you can expand on it a bit more. Like I wonder with this one, maybe even because you know have a lot of arguments in modern art, or like, what is that art?
Yeah.
You know, do you think this is art? Do you think we have a right to call this art? Yes,
yeah, that's true.
So and then you kind of you're engaging in this is from my teaching. You're engaging in like higher order thinking skills there, because he's having to think like, what is art? Is this art? What do I define as art?
And then his opinion, yes, he's having to go through that.
So it's like a big, like, just to answer that question, like, do you think this is art? I'm having to think of, okay, what do I define as art? What do others define as art? Is something art even though it's made out of like Lego or something? Yeah. You know, can that class as art even though a child could have built that? Like, what does that matter? So he has to weigh all of that up just to answer a question. So you're kind of engaging in all of those thoughts. Ooh. Oh, I really like this.
It's a shame I'm getting it bigger, because you know, when you look into it, you can see all the details properly.
Oh, yeah, and you zoom in. No, it's good. Oh, and the fish. So I wonder what a good question would, maybe like an opinion about this one would be. When did he do? So this was 1953. Oh, so this one actually came before, didn't it? Maybe even then. So do you prefer his early or later work?
Yeah, true.
So I think I prefer this one to that one. Although I think the impact of that.
Yeah, if you saw it, it'd be more of a...
And maybe that's something to ask about. You can go off in any direction really. Like, you know, I think. So you said it's a big paint. It's big. Do you think that would create like more of an impact being so large, or, you know, do you know where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
I can kind of see it in my head. Cool. So I would, if I was you, I would go away now. I feel very pleased with myself that I did well, and I'd literally read it out as if I was doing it, writing down the key and focusing on what you need to work on, and then maybe adding in any extra questions now that you can think of to maybe ask his opinion a bit more, and to keep his body engaged and his mind, because his mind can stay engaged for a long time, but his body often goes off, so you've got to keep his body engaged as well. Yeah. All in order to keep his mind engaged.
Yeah, I think that's why I was sort of thinking of the. Oh, okay, this is too many questions. Obviously, I don't want.
No,
I don't want him to.
Well, you don't want to bombard him, but I find with a lot of children I work with, and with Christopher, if almost you talk for too long and you don't engage the bodies, the bodies start going off, and you kind of got to keep his body active in order to keep his mind on task.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, that's wicked. Cool. We've got a good session there.
Thanks.
So let's go and check with see what